Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today we're looking at a paper from the Hugging Face trending list, published on October 16, 2025, about 2 days ago. This paper introduces AdaMimic, which delivers accurate and adaptable humanoid control from a single reference motion, achieving 99.6% overall success in simulation and running on real hardware. The paper is titled, Towards Adaptable Humanoid Control via Adaptive Motion Tracking, and as we'll see later, the results are really impressive. In short, the method pairs sparse keyframe augmentation with a two-stage tracker and adapters for time warping and action refinement, outperforming motion prior and per-frame tracking baselines on both simulation tasks and the Unitree G1 robot. Also, the author shared the official PyTorch repo. You'll find a Conda environment, Isaac Gym integration, and bundled legged gym and RSL-RL modules. The README walks through two-stage training, policy playback, and baseline comparisons, with ready-to-run commands, dataset and task configs, and a docs folder to get you started. Alright, the previous segment covered the code setup and training flow. Figure 1 presents an overview montage that demonstrates adaptable whole-body control across varied tasks. Panel A shows higher jumping height over stacked boxes, which indicates preserved style with stronger vertical adaptation. The right panels B depict extended badminton motions with consistent swing patterns. Panel D illustrates longer jumping distance, with markers at about 1.3 meters and 0.6 meters that show controllable time warping and stride length. Alright, Figure 3 contrasts error patterns across methods after the overview montage. The full panel compares Deep Mimic Adapt, AdaMimic Stage 1, and AdaMimic using the same far jumping task. The top row shows global landing errors in forward and lateral directions, where tighter clusters near 0 and cooler colors indicate that AdaMimic maintains accuracy across longer jumping distances. The bottom row plots local tracking error over motion phase, which drops sharply around landing because adaptive time warping and action refinements stabilize the motion. While the previous figure contrasted errors across methods. Figure 2 shows the full AdaMimic pipeline, which links data processing, policy training, and hardware deployment into one flow. Panel A illustrates motion processing that reconstructs and retargets a single demo, selects sparse keyframes, and applies light global edits while keeping local joint patterns. Panel B details two-stage training with dense local and sparse global rewards, plus phase and tracking adapters that enable adaptive time warping. Panel C summarizes deployment using onboard sensing and a proportional derivative controller to drive the robot at real-time rates. So Figure 2 outlined the pipeline. Table 2 now specifies the reward design that trains it. The table splits terms into sparse global rewards and dense local rewards, which stabilize imitation and keep edits aligned to keyframes. Global body and feet positions carry high weights, global rotation is moderate, and termination receives a strong negative penalty. Dense terms emphasize local body and joint positions, while small regularizers encourage smooth actions and respect torque and velocity limits for hardware safety. So, while the previous table defined rewards, Table I sets the adaptation scope for training and testing. The rows list 6 motions, including far jump, high jump, triple jump, step jump, tennis, and badminton. The simulation column split ranges into easy and hard bands. For example, far jump spans roughly 0.7 to 1.6 meters in easy cases. The hardware columns mirror this idea, with easier trials like 0.7 to 1.0 meters and harder trials extending farther or higher. So while Table I set the task ranges, Table 3 reports the head-to-head simulation results across easy, hard, and overall settings. The AdaMimic row leads overall with about 87% success, roughly 30mm dense local error, about 95mm sparse global error, and smooth motions near 16.6. Easy adaptation shows about 100% success, which signals precise tracking when edits are mild. Hard adaptation still holds around 74% success, so the adapters preserve style under large edits. Baselines drop in both accuracy and smoothness, especially Deep Mimic No Adapt and AMP Mimic. So while Table 3 summarized simulation gains, Figure 7 shows real robot snapshots that compare methods across 4 tasks. The montage highlights steadier landings and consistent swings with AdaMimic because the adapters correct timing and actions. The left column presents high jump and far jump, where foot placements align with targets and boxes. The right column displays tennis hit and step jump, where baselines look jerky or unstable, while AdaMimic keeps the motion style intact. Okay, 2 takeaways stand out. First, sparse keyframes plus a two-stage tracker with phase and action adapters enable accurate, adaptable control from just one reference motion. Second, the approach works in simulation and on real hardware, which lowers data needs and simplifies deployment. The broader implication is faster transfer of whole-body skills to new tasks and settings. That is it for this episode of the AI Research Roundup. I am Alex. Thanks for listening.